giant caterpillar, you can put him in.
He's rad though.
What are they called?
What's that? Tomato aquarium?
Oh yeah, I know those.
It's fat.
Yeah.
Let me down easy.
Okay.
This is 720 Smith Street recording studio. Nice. Cheers.
720 Smith Street recording studio. Happy to be here. Stoked. Psyched. Can't wait. Honored to be on episode number 1.
Yeah.
What's up?
Not too much, man.
I'm Nick, Izzy's buddy, longtime, lifelong friend and soccer teammate, sometimes opponent.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
This is our first episode, so we're just going for it. We don't really even know if this is gonna work, or maybe we're gonna have to redo it in the future.
Two lovers of soccer, hanging out,
Yep.
talking about the game.
Yep.
Dude.
What do you think about our Tuesday night team?
Bro, Tuesday night team. It's kind of fallen off a cliff this season. Yeah. Yeah, but the guys running the league are awesome. Really put together a solid
I hear good things about them.
You know, and I really enjoy playing. I'll tell you this much. So before your league on Tuesday nights at Future Legends, the Dome, I call it the Dome, I would really limit myself to only play indoor on turf in the winters. Maybe like 2 seasons. Just because, I don't know, it was the way I did things, and sometimes it's hard on my ankles and my knees. But since you guys started that league and since that opened up for play, I played the very first season and I haven't stopped playing in over a year and a half now. I think it's been about that long, or how long has it been?
Almost 2 years,
Yeah, almost 2 years. And I played every single season out there because it's just a blast, and I love getting out on Tuesday nights with the guys and kicking it around and getting some exercise and getting out. So
yeah, we were struggling for a little bit there, like we were losing to the Ranchers, and then we lost to Banda Boys, and then we also lost to, I'm not sure what their team name was.
Yeah, new team in the league.
But once he went out of town, then we won.
Bro,
Yeah,
that's not why though.
What? Yeah, it is. I think it is. Well, we had Richie back too, but
I gotta shape up.
I think we were 0-3 while you were there, and then you went out of town, and all of a sudden I think we won 9-2 or something.
Well, I did have a bad game like 2 games ago, and I publicly announced to the team over our email thread that I was gonna bring it on the next game, which I think they scored like twice in 5 minutes.
Yeah.
And in minute 6 I got a yellow card. And then it was not what we talked about.
Oh, this could be edited out, but what's up with New Belgium? So you're wearing the t-shirt, but you guys aren't. The boats have been burned?
Bro, don't edit it out. So New Belgium was an absolute dynasty. I'm happy you asked this question.
I don't know if dynasty is the right word, but
yeah. See all these stars?
We don't have a fact
This
checker.
isn't even an updated jersey.
We don't have anybody.
There's
doing
like
the fact,
4 more on the
Google
updated
search
jersey
in the background to confirm we have the details.
Don't have
Some
that
of
guy.
these are
Good.
unconfirmed.
That's all right. Yeah.
A few
Take
half
my
stars,
word
I
for
guess.
it.
A few half stars.
So when I got back from college and was done playing college ball, I started playing men's league, and I put together a team, and we called it Dream Team Pedicabs FC, and we had a really hard time with numbers, so we'd get like 9 to 11 players out to the games. And this was when Shannon Clark was running the league in Loveland, when the men's open went away from Fort Collins Soccer Club for a few years. So at the time, the original New Belgium team that had been around for many years before this, had started kind of aging out of the open division. And they had about 9 or 11 guys that were young enough and active enough to still play in the open, and the rest of them were going to move to the over 30s. And it was like, they saw our team, they liked to play against us, we were all good guys, we got along great. It was like the perfect opportunity for them to break this team up and take most of the squad to the over 30s and combine with my squad and continue the New Belgium team in the Open Division. And that's when Tony Hall took it over. OG, Tony Hall.
Tony.
Yeah. And then we started, that's how I started playing on New Belgium. And then probably about 7 or 8 years ago, give or take, the core that had stayed from the original team started aging out. And about then, it was when Tony Hall handed over the reins to me and Bodie Roybal and said, yeah, it's time for me to pass on the torch. You guys manage the team now. And we were really happy to do that. And now we're aging out.
Yeah, now you
Bodie's
guys are
gone.
finishing 5th every
Bodie
year.
lives in Maine now.
Now you guys are finishing 5th or 6th every season.
That's not true. Out of like 25 maybe. No. Yeah. We haven't done well in the standings, but it's because they eliminated the playoffs. You see, the way we got all
You
these
guys are a
stars
playoff team?
is we squeak into the playoffs in 4th place, and then we turn it on. And we win the semis, and then we win the finals. That's kind of the way we roll. We start slow, and we finish strong in the season,
But
in the
what
length
about
of a season.
What's happened recently with the burn the boats and the burn the jersey?
So,
there's some upset people.
yeah,
out there.
thank you for reminding me
across
of
town.
bringing it back to that. So as I mentioned, yeah, Tony Hall and Jared Ray and Nick Ampey and the remainder of the OG New Belgium players that actually worked at New Belgium still, they finally just graduated out. They're all in the over 40 division now. And so it kind of became time. We don't have anyone left at the brewery representing the team, that we had to think about, turning over a new leaf, changing the name. So just this last season, we changed our team name to Burn the Boats, got new jerseys, and fresh look, fresh squad. I've been bringing in a bunch of young guys, mid-20s. They're kind of taking over the team now, and there will reach a point in the near future where I hand off the torch. I'm not going to lead the team. I'm going to still play.
Yeah.
But it's probably almost time for, me to hand the reins to the younger generation and let them run the roster.
I don't think they're ready yet.
And
Well, that was my next question: is who would run the team, but also who brings the beer?
but the beer,
Because you bring the beer for a lot of teams.
I'll coordinate that. Speaking of bringing the beer for a lot of teams, your team needs to learn how to bring their own beer.
I know.
I
I
don't
must spend like $1,000 a season.
I don't know how or why, but somehow you guys play before us almost every Sunday. And then you hang out after the game, and every Sunday as the whistle blows and our game kicks off, I just see a bunch of black jerseys floating over to my big cooler, getting in there, getting all my beer out, drinking it down. Like, God damn it. I'm going to start bringing a different cooler for you guys. I've been joking about that. I'm going to call you guys in advance of Sunday and just say, all right.
Has a bunch of expired beers.
Well, yeah. I'll start cleaning out the back of my fridge, dude, and be like,
That won't-
this cooler is for the Mavericks. Okay.
Expired beers won't slow down some of them has. One of the reasons I always try to bring beers is because Johnny Freestone, who manages the Harpos, every time he would invite me out for practices or games or whatever, he always had beers afterwards for everybody. So I always try to at least have beers for some people. But when you have 20 people and you only have 12 beers, it doesn't go that far,
It's easy to coordinate, though. See, what you do is you bring a
Sometimes
cooler
I
of
guess
ice,
don't coordinate.
and then you say, all right, who wants to, everyone, 2 people, 3 people, bring a couple 12 packs. You put them in the cooler,
I
and
think
then
they
you
just
repeat
mean-
the next
I
week.
think they just mean
It's so
Steve
easy.
is in Whitworth.
It's so easy.
Well, I think a lot of times they were meaning to, but then they went out on the town the night before, and maybe the liquor stores aren't open in the morning,
Bro.
or
Yeah.
maybe they've slept in past their alarm, and then they are just reacting, the rest of the day.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where
You're
I do
definitely
try
right.
to plan, but it's also it's pretty heavy to carry all the beers out there all the way to that field.
To me, like, half of Sunday soccer is preparing for the game, getting out there, working, battling, playing ball with their homies, and
Yep.
then the second half of Sunday soccer for me is post-game, cracking a cold one,
Massage.
hanging out. Get a little cold plunge.
Mhm.
But to me, that's like a really, really important part of Sunday soccer. is post game. Like, I don't want to go play and then just say, all right, see ya.
Yeah, me neither.
Like, to me, it's a whole day,
Yeah.
whole day experience, and I really love that.
Me too. I pretty much try to take like the whole day out, or like the afternoon. You know, once I play, it's like very rarely, like it's pretty much your day's done. Just enjoy it with everybody, you know.
I even tried to not schedule Monday morning meetings and appointments.
Yeah.
I try to like start my Monday at noon, so you can kind
Not
of
everyone
ease
can
back
do
into
that,
the
though.
work week. Not everyone. Not I can't always do that either, but I try to.
Yeah.
Sundays are a really meaningful day for me. I look forward to them all week. I can't wait for it every week.
We're recording this on a Sunday.
There we go.
We're not
yeah,
gonna
post
release-
soccer.
We aren't going to release all of the data,
Uh.
but yeah, we are recording this on a Sunday. And it rained today, so we couldn't get the mixer kit out. So we're recording on the phone. Hopefully everything goes well, but yeah, we're recording on the Nokia.
There we go. It's going. Episode 1. The
Feeling warmed up?
beginning of
Let me see if this worked.
You control it from your watch.
I'm just doing the time for like, because we kicked off.
Oh, nice.
Okay, we just kicked off over here. Episode 1, first half. We just warmed up. Now we're flying. First 10 minutes, putting them under pressure.
Warm-up's over, baby.
We're seeking sponsorship for the podcast, so today we've got hopefully one of our future sponsors, but if not, still amazing beers. We have Odell's Brewing Company, Oktoberfest.
Delicious, locally brewed. Yes, please. My favorite local brewery. Even though I wear the badge,
Yeah.
when I drink the beer, slightly on the other side of the scale, it's Odell. Just
Yeah.
a little bit. I love both. Don't get me wrong. But Odell, yeah, delish.
I have to say for me it's Odell's for sure because, yeah, sometimes I'm drinking New Belgium and maybe New Belgium will be a future sponsor, but currently, if I drink New Belgium, I'm like, I wish this was Odell.
I think it reminds you of the times that you lost to my New Belgium team. I think that's maybe
That's what
what's
it
going
is.
on.
Yeah.
That too? A little bit.
Yeah. I don't think I ever have lost to your team, but teams I played on have lost while I was not in attendance. That's
You just
for sure.
you just weren't
And
there
you didn't
those
get those
days.
stars.
You just weren't there any of those times.
Yeah, it's true. I was not there.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's fortunate for you.
Well, here, cheers.
Cheers.
Yeah. So one of the things,
Oh, that's good.
we're gonna do that is good.
October.
So it's gonna be this season's gonna be the locals, but it's gonna be the starting 11.
Uh-huh.
Maybe with some honorable mentions, but
Uh-huh.
all of the starting 11 is gonna sign the ball.
Oh, like starting 11 on the podcast?
Yep.
Hell yeah. All right. I can't
So
wait.
we gotta get your
Okay,
safety there.
let's do it. Let's go. I get the first one.
Yep.
Okay. And what happens with the ball after 11 episodes?
Well, it's gonna go up in the green room.
Oh, smart. Okay. Let's go with right here on top of the orange. Honored to have the first signature. Should I put like a number 1 by it?
No,
No
we'll have
need.
it down. Well,
No
we
need.
maybe the episodes may not go in order because some of the people, I'll have to track them down or when they're around for the holidays or audio recordings. But
Look how good that looks.
yeah, only because I have to preface that only because just because you're episode 1 does not mean you're number 1 on the list necessarily.
When it rolls out?
Necessarily.
I see. Okay.
No, you will be episode 1.
Oh.
But just because you're episode 1 doesn't mean you're one of the top locals necessarily.
But you got to agree that signature is fire, right?
That is nice.
That
yeah.
looks professional.
Under pressure as well. That's
would
our
you
first Siggy.
think that I played professional soccer just by looking at that signature on a soccer ball?
Yeah.
Like it looks like I've done that thousands of times, huh?
Yep. Under pressure too, so that's good.
Maybe I have. Maybe I've been playing in an underground pro league. I don't know. I mean,
Maybe there will be. Maybe we'll have a underground pro league locally soon.
Maybe I have a professional future in front of me still. Over 50s, Olympics.
Yeah.
It's not there yet, but maybe, it'll be there in the future.
Yeah, like you were saying in the warm-up, I think you do a good job of.
I think I was born to sign soccer balls.
Well, this could be a valuable item sometime soon, If it isn't, it's valuable to me, but it could be valuable to many people.
Like if I die.
Maybe we'll donate. We'll donate it. Maybe
is that what you're trying to say?
With all the... No.
Don't go there. That's dark.
Well, maybe this ball will be of value. You know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
Maybe we can donate the balls to somebody, or somebody will pay for them, or something like that. But no, these won't get kicked around.
Places to donate.
Unless it's at your funeral or something, we'll
that's
kick
legendary.
it around or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, that belongs in the rafters.
Yeah.
That's a banner.
And one thing I told you a few times is at my, this is obviously CCA podcast, but at my funeral, make sure you tell them, like...
I know what you said.
What did I say?
I know what you said. This is good.
Yeah.
You said something along the lines of, Collin Audley, rest in peace, died trying to get his friends to play soccer with him.
Loved Lily, loved Red.
Loved Lily, loved Red, died
After
trying
that.
to get his friends to play soccer with him.
Yeah, died trying, yeah.
That's it, right?
Yeah, that's it.
I knew it.
Died trying to get everybody to play ball with me.
Hell yeah.
Well, maybe we can't play ball for forever, but
Died
we
trying.
can tell stories too.
That's a heartbreaker, bro. All right, so I never forgot it.
Let's dive
That
in
was
here.
years ago, in a random conversation.
It was. I
just
can't believe you
said
remember
that
that.
one time. And I was like, damn.
Yeah.
Well,
I
never
spent a
miss
lot
a
of time and
training
energy.
session again.
I spent a lot of time and energy trying to get people to play soccer with me.
I missed one training session.
I could die soon from that, from all of that time and energy. But yeah, make sure the red
Life
and lily
is short.
part.
Too short.
Make sure the red and lily part is in the front.
That's right. Okay.
All right,
I'll
let's
make sure that's in
let's
front.
dive in. Where
Okay.
are we at here?
Where do you want to go?
Well, yeah, we are seeking sponsorship. We are seeking, director of ops. We're looking for marketing personnel.
Sponsors are fun.
Yeah, sponsors are fun, and yeah, the idea here for the podcast is we're gonna record around 11 episodes. It'll be the starting 11. Nick is one of the starting 11. So we're recording today, but it'll be about 11 episodes. Then we'll release that season, and then there'll be a few other seasons similar, where maybe it's the baller alert season, or maybe a coach's season, or some of the other athletes from around the area.
Love it. I'm
yeah.
stoked for you. I think it's a great idea.
What did you bring over?
Oh, well, I brought a couple things. Number one, do you want to go deep or do you want to go shallow? So I got two books with me, and I love to talk about them both. I think they're both really worth talking about. You want to go deep?
Let's go with wooden.
Let's go with wooden. This is my favorite coffee table book of all time. Mm-hmm. That's my second favorite coffee book of all time. Coffee table book. This book is written by John Wooden, and he's not a soccer guy. He's a basketball guy, and he's known as probably the greatest coach of all time for NCAA collegiate sports. He won 10 national championships with UCLA in 12 years. At the time, UCLA is not known to be a basketball school. So what made John Wooden a great coach was that he taught his players how to be great people. He knew a lot about the fundamentals of the game of basketball, but he wasn't a professional player prior to coaching or anything like that. But what he was really good at was bringing the best out of his athletes, the absolute best, the maximum potential out of every athlete. And he talks a lot about that. So this book is cool. It's a coffee table book because you can open it to any page in the book, and it's all just small passages, 2 to 3 paragraph long passages. So I just opened it. I'll read a passage. Failure is not fatal, but failure to change might be. Failure to change is often just stubbornness that comes from unwillingness to learn, an inability to realize that you're not perfect. You cannot be progress without change, even though not all change is progress. And you know, it's just gold wisdom. And I'll tell you this, I keep a copy of this, not this copy. This copy is a little waterlogged, next to our dinner table. And one of our family traditions is after we finish dinner, we all open it up and read a passage every night that we can. Not every night, of course, never happens every night, but when we're eating dinner together at the dinner table, we do that. One of my other goals is to give away 100 copies of this book. Right now,
But you did.
I'm at 48 copies.
No, come on.
I'm at 48 copies right now that I remember. I have a spreadsheet.
Okay, so if you need a copy, we'll get you a copy.
I'm keeping a spreadsheet. I think I've given away probably like 20 other copies that I forgot to log in my spreadsheet, but
John Wooden, if you're listening,
Wooden by John Wooden.
We're looking for sponsorship.
Yeah, Wooden by John Wooden. It's absolute gold. Just nothing but pure wisdom, and I couldn't say more about it. You want to read one?
Well, I actually know one already because Nick gave me the book, but I was really impressed with it. One of the ones he tells a story about, how important the details are. And so one of the ones that I remember just off the top of my head was about, the socks. Like he would show his players like how to put the socks on, just right.
Yeah.
Because
So you don't get them bunched up and get blisters.
yeah. And so even just those little things, they make a big difference. And yeah, as an athlete or as a performer or whatever industry you're in, some of those like little things can make a difference. And so he was really like helping with the details, but then also the details do matter, because if my starting center has blisters, like he can't even play.
Yeah.
So it doesn't even matter what we do in practice, or if I tell him scout or film or video or all the technology that we have. If he has blisters on his feet, he can't perform. So even there, he's like teaching them how to put the socks on just right before he runs them into the ground or makes them do the plays. And so anyways, the attention to detail, that's one of the ones that just off the top of my head that I remember. But
It's so simple.
How many copies did you give away already?
So far, I've recorded 48, but I know there's more. But I can't remember.
Lost ones?
I mean, I just didn't log it in my spreadsheet, But yeah, man, it's so simple. It's simple things like that. But it's so meaningful and impactful. And even putting on your socks.
Yeah.
John Wooden does it 100% to his maximum ability every time he puts a sock on. And that's how he lives his whole life. And it's just like, if you do that, you're going to be successful.
Yeah.
Everything you do, don't half-ass it. Don't half-ass put a sock. Do it all the way to the maximum ability of your potential. And that's just one of the many just deep messages that it's so easy. It's all just so easy. It's all in there.
Yep, it is.
It's all in there.
Honestly, it's a very good book. And I gave
all you got to do.
I had a copy, but I gave it away. And then I got a
Good.
replacement copy for
Good.
Nick, but I gave it away.
But pass it on, man. That's the thing to do.
I do.
Uh-huh.
Let's dive in over here. Book 2. What do we got over here?
This is my second favorite coffee table book. This is really cool. It's called One Love, Soccer for Life. It's a photo journal of the photographer, Levin Biss. He traveled the entire globe, went everywhere that he could, and just photographed everywhere he went, wherever he saw soccer. And it's everywhere. And it's just cool. Like, you just open it, and you see kids playing next to a riverbank, and guys training in the gym, and people running behind the bleachers. It's everything. You see the beach soccer, you see the desert soccer, you see soccer goals everywhere you go, just like beat up goalposts. Like anywhere you go on this planet, you'll find soccer. anywhere you go. It's the universal language. People say math is the universal language, but I've always argued that soccer is the universal language. So you go to like an obscure country in Africa and find a tribe of, Aboriginals or whatever, and you to ask them like, what's the square root of 525? They're not gonna know. But you put a little soccer ball on the ground, pass it to them. It's like they'll know what to do with that. It's beautiful, and it's coupled with a bunch of quotes, mostly from famous footballers. And it's
How
just
many of these have you given away?
none.
Do you have your Excel sheet or?
I don't have a spreadsheet for that one. It's a great song. It's a great coffee table book. It's a good conversation piece. You can open it to any page, see a really cool picture from somewhere around the world, and read a really cool quote from a famous footballer. And those are my two favorite books. Those are my two favorite books
So,
by far.
not that we have to, start at the beginning or something, but what are some of your earlier memories of soccer
That's a good question.
or footy?
It's a
or
great
whatever,
question.
Football or whatever.
It's a great question. So,
Or what would you say is your earliest one? Or like
earliest
lowest one?
memory. So I grew up in Wellington, north of Fort Collins, which at the time was a complete little farm town.
Yeah.
Not even a single traffic light in the town. And we grew up north of that, out in the country. So for me, growing up playing soccer was like a foreign language. It was a far reach. I didn't start playing until I got into first grade, and it was offered as a recreational sport through our school. And I think my mom probably received a letter saying that we could play if we want. I was like, yeah, let's do it. I didn't know anybody. I got on a soccer team in first grade at Icestone Elementary in Wellington, Colorado, and immediately
Never heard
those,
of them, but
yeah,
that's okay. I guess they weren't on my
you would.
radar yet.
Bro, if there was a state championship for first grade rec teams,
I don't know.
we would have won. We were nuts. But immediately, to answer your question, I was new at this school. We were moving around a lot when I was young. That was my first time that I don't know, I got friend. That was my first group of friends. Was my soccer team in first grade in the fall of my first semester there, my first year there. And that's probably my earliest memory of soccer. And it just takes off from there. It was pretty crazy growing up out in the country as a soccer player. I'm 30 minutes away from a soccer field. There was a football field in Wellington, and we practiced I think in the outfield of a baseball field when we had soccer practice there. But we're half hour away from our game locations, and on the farm, dude, there's I'm miles away from anybody. So I grew up kicking a soccer ball against a haystack when after school was over on days that I didn't have soccer practice. And it was crazy. You find the part of the haystack where the hay got really condensed and it was packed up and tied really tight, and it would bounce back good if you hit it in that spot. And if you hit it in a different spot where it wasn't baled very tight, it would kind of die, and you'd have to go get it. And that was how I grew up. That's how I learned.
Who was your coach?
How to play. My coach was Nancy Smith, the mom of one of our teammates, and she was incredible. She was awesome.
Nancy, I'm not sure you're gonna get an episode, but just curious who it was.
Nancy, yeah, you'll big shout out to Nancy. She was incredible. She was extremely knowledgeable about the game.
Would she remember you guys?
Bro, yeah, definitely. I don't know what her background in the game was, but she was a great coach, and it was just incredible. We were super blessed. We had so much fun. We were so successful, and it just all started from there. Grew like a tree.
So that was the start. But then what's your
an unlikely story,
Yeah.
A bunch of farm kids out in Wellington, like, became like this great team, and a bunch of those guys like went on to play forever, you know, because of Nancy Smith.
Yeah, I remember one time I was training with you guys, and then, or like when you were a little bit older, but you guys were showing me like your tricep muscles and stuff.
That's right.
Because you guys were so strong.
Bro, a bunch of cord-fed farm boys. Can you imagine getting on the pitch in like second grade? All these city slickers, you know, growing up on pancakes and Nutri-Grain bars.
It's a little stereotypical.
Get us farm boys out there, bro. Like, fucking hay bales around and wrestling cattle. You get on the pitch, like, watch out. You know, it was awesome though. We had a blast. Yeah, it was probably, I mean, I never thought about it this way, but maybe the single most influential, you know, person in my soccer career. Like, without that, like,
oh, thanks for saying that.
Maybe it doesn't, like, you know, maybe it doesn't grow. Like, never really thought about it.
Oh,
but
I thought you were talking about me.
Yeah,
I'm just kidding.
I was talking about you.
No, you're talking about me.
Yeah. Yeah, you know, I mean, so those kinds of influences are extremely important. And, you know, it's just the little things. It's easy to do. It's easy to be a positive soccer influence on a kid.
Yeah.
And then you water a seed that grows into a mighty oak sometimes.
Yeah. And around here, I feel that a lot of the other sports, well, at least when we were growing up, you couldn't really play some of the other sports. So a lot of athletes do start with soccer, even if they go play lacrosse or swim or basketball or something, because at the rec levels around here, you can play soccer. So and it's fairly affordable, pretty easy. You could do it at your
absolutely
elementary school. So a lot of people do start with soccer, even if they, like I said, go on to do different things.
Yeah.
But if that was the beginning, then what's your current relationship with the game?
Good question. So from there, I went into, you know, finished recreation, went to club, played club, and that opened up a lot of doors and a lot of opportunities for me. Ultimately went on and played some college Division II ball in North Carolina, which was great, and then came back, played a little semi-pro indoor. So unlikely. I don't know, I was just in the right place at the right time. Around 2005 maybe, this indoor soccer, professional indoor soccer, like, went nuts, and leagues and teams popped up all over the place. I got to ride that wave. It was a blast. To answer your question, now I play adult league, and I am a soccer dad now, which is fantastic. And I get to watch my daughter play from the other sideline in a chair, and it's a different perspective that I love. And I've got to watch her progress and grow through the game. The game is a great teacher of life. There's things that the game teaches kids that they won't hear or listen to from their parents, you know? And it's things like soccer that is the better way for them to learn certain very, very important qualities and aspects of life. I could go on and on, you know?
Yeah, you could.
Fucking success, it's failure, heartbreak, teamwork, discipline, responsibility, dependability, you know, it just, everything, work ethic, you know, you learn about everything. And that's kind of been my perspective now. And outside of that, though, where the game's taken me, I'm on the board of directors for the Fort Collins Soccer Club, and I just started my 4th term, so I'm beginning my 10th year as a director on the board. So that's the kind of stuff I've been doing now, helping hopefully lead and point in the right direction. The club, the Fort Collins Soccer Club, the local club that I grew up playing in, worked for, coached with, and, you know, now I'm still a part of as a player, as a parent member, and as a board member. So, man, it'll never leave my life. I'll always be so fully involved. Like, soccer is such a huge part of my life. It's shaped me. Like, it's responsible for so much. It took me to so many places. It taught me so many things, you know? It's like, I'll always be part of the game. There's a quote in that book that says, you don't stop playing soccer when you get old. You get old when you stop playing soccer.
Well, we're still playing, that's for sure. We're still going for it. And yeah, so if you have a few things along the way, besides your mom or Nancy, who are some maybe influences that you had, like other people that you played with or coaches, you know?
You looking for a shout out?
No.
I'm just kidding.
Well, I was younger than you, so
just kidding.
I'm thinking maybe more along the lines of some of those other
Nah, man.
players that were very good, very young.
For real.
Or maybe some of those coaches along the way, especially
honestly,
locally, you know, some of the locals.
There was a lot, but the number one that I would have to say is Connor Tobin.
Okay.
He was a defender with me, and he had insane drive.
Yeah.
He just had passion. He wanted to be the best, and he wouldn't settle for anything less. And it was great playing defense alongside with a guy like that. You know, I think he made me better. I think, and vice versa. And I made him better. And we followed the same path. You know, we went into Arsenal, and then we both, at the age of 16, 17, we went to Real, Colorado to play at a very much higher level. And then that opened up so many opportunities for us. And then we both went on to play college. But that guy, he won an award once. And our coach, Lauren Donaldson, who you need to have on this podcast.
He'll be on.
You
Connor
gotta
will be on, but Lauren will be on.
He gave him the award called the Piss and Vinegar Award, and it basically meant like, you know, like nobody on the field will ever outwork Connor, and that's why I think I would say that he was extremely influential. It's just inspiring to see somebody never give up, never stop, and never be outworked, and it led him to have a professional soccer career overseas and here in the States. He became a professional soccer player. The list goes on, but I would toss Connor Tobin out there.
Yeah, that's a good influence. He'll definitely have an episode, and he is probably working hard somewhere right now.
Yeah, I know he is. Yeah.
Any others that you could think of?
Absolutely. How about, honestly, dude, I'll give you a shout out, man. We used to call you the field rat. This is important. This is important for the people to know. You were called the field rat because after school you would go to practice and you would practice with your team, and then your team, for whatever reason, practiced earlier than us all the time. And then my team would start up, and we're 1 year difference, so we're not in the same age group. And then he would wander over to our practice. He would wander over and ask our coach, Al Manata at the time, hey,
Shout out Al.
Can I play? Can I practice? And you'd lace your boots back up, jump in our practice. And I'd be like, oh man, that's crazy. Dude just put in 2 practices. And then I would leave, get in the car, and I would see you wandering around, eyeballing what other practice is going on that you could still jump into. I'd be like, oh my God, man. He's relentless. He never wants to stop playing.
It's true.
And
it's true.
It was really cool to see, you know? And I don't know if I ever really told you that story before, but we all saw it. And it was very, very cool. Yeah.
What about some of the older guys? Maybe when you were you
Older
were a
guys.
freshman in high school, or
There's a story about a guy that
and they were seniors, or guys that you looked up to, or that you were like, okay, trying to model my game if I could get like him.
Marcelo Balboa, way older, but hey, no offense, you're still a young buck.
We can try to
One
talk him
time-
into the podcast. I'm not sure at the current rate. I'm not sure if we can afford him.
Well,
But-
one time I went to a camp. It was hosted by Arsenal.
Once he sees this episode, he might want to come on.
Ah, I should have worn my Rapids jersey. Now I'm getting on a tangent, but he came out to a camp that was hosted by Arsenal, and it was open to all the clubs around. I think all of Colorado, most of the only Northern Colorado people came, but it was so cool to meet him. He was so humble and he was so nice, and he just talked to us all, like, and he made us feel great, and just meeting him and playing soccer with him. He jumped into the scrimmages,
Yeah.
and he was a legend. He is a legend.
Yeah, he is.
Is a legend, and I mean, at the time, like, dude, he was in his prime, playing Team USA.
Yep.
Oh, just absolute legend.
Yep.
And it was so cool. So that would be one I would have to definitely put up there at the very top of the list. So very thankful that
He made an influence
Dude,
on you, and then
absolutely.
you kind of wanted to be like him, or
absolutely
you wanted to do bicycle kicks.
Yeah, he was a defender. I'm a defender. I'm like, oh my gosh, this could happen. Yeah,
And what about
there's one. Never thought about that before either until you asked that
which
question.
what?
Cello.
Oh, cello. Yeah.
Who else? Man, I don't know.
Were there any
The older
coaches around?
players, other coaches, absolutely. There was so many coaches.
You're good, Cal. We just sold a plastic play set, so yeah,
Good.
we're rich. He said I don't have to pay rent this month since we sold that.
I want to give a shout out to Matt Cross.
Mm-hmm.
You got the opportunity to play with Matt Cross and us for 1 year. But the year before that, he was, how do I say it? Like, completely,
Psycho.
psycho, no. Committed. 100% committed
Yeah.
to our success. And that, that meant to us, like, what seemed at the time like some psychotic training sessions, running through the snow for 7 miles in 20-degree weather and stuff like that. But you know what? It worked. It worked. We were the biggest underdogs, and we won a state championship our first year with Matt Cross. And he believed in us, and he refused to give us anything less than 100%, and it was impactful. We, in return, believed in ourselves. He made us believe in ourselves. It's something that we would not have believed in without him, because we knew we were underdogs. We knew we were a bunch of ragtag guys from Fort Collins, Northern Colorado, going against the big shots from Denver, but he made us believe, and it worked.
And Matt, hopefully, will get an episode. I know he had a big influence on a lot of your age, Connor Tobin included. But I know he did make you guys run a lot. But I remember there was, when I was playing I played up an age group on your team. But there was one week or practice or whatever where we had to do all this running, and my whole body was hurting so much. I was like gonna quit. I literally just couldn't even walk and stuff. So, and I know you guys were a little bit older and had already done it for a little while, but that was the most pain I've probably been in.
Was it the hill sprint days?
I think it was
the Run the A?
No, it was at the old Fort Collins High School. We had to do the track. Around the track.
Oh
And then
yeah.
I think we did
Track ones
the
are
mile,
brutal.
where you had to do the whatever that mile was, and then we did one out last year where we were doing the back and forth, and so
Every time you think you've ended and you finished,
I know.
and he's like, "Oh no!"
And every day
line it
was
back
like
up,
that for
line
a
it
little
back
while,
up.
yeah. And I remember telling, I was basically just crying at home because my whole body hurt, and I was just telling my dad that I can't even walk and stuff, So, but then I recovered. But yeah, that was kind of my first introduction into actually having to be sore or pushing myself. And
Dude, yeah, and It paid off.
Even today, the physical side is very important to me.
It
But
is.
I also think, I'm back at Arsenal as well. But one of the things I think of the, Northern Colorado guys is that you could be organized. You could be in really good shape. You could be, together. The team chemistry before the tactics or just the personal talent or the set plays or something like that, So my history with the people, the community up here is that we're always very hardworking and can get into really good shape, even if we're not as talented,
Yeah.
And your team, you look at it now, there were some talented guys, but that club team that won that state championship against some of those other teams that had a lot of talent, your team was so hardworking, they were in such good shape, and you could run all day, tackle all day, and even Connor, you would say probably that's where things changed for him a little bit, was Matt Cross.
Absolutely, man. And in that championship game, it went into overtime, and we played against Storm that year in the championship. Roger Espinosa was on that squad.
Collin Johnson,
Yep.
a bunch of guys. Yep.
Oh yeah, and when it got into like the 100th minute.
Taylor, T.
Yes, I do.
Anyways,
Slips my mind, but
Taylor, you'll potentially get an episode once we remember your last name.
It was fitness really that brought us across the finish line.
Yeah.
It was like 105th minute, 110th minute, and then we had the fitness. They didn't, and so he knew what he was doing.
Yeah. But a lot of places I've been, the fitness makes a big difference.
Huge difference. You can't play if you're not fit.
And so let's
Not effectively.
Well, should we get into one of these easy streets real quick?
Absolutely. Come on.
And so, while we're
Glad
pouring
to
up,
see Easy Street back on the can line. I
it
should
is
say.
big. Yeah, I have to agree.
So glad.
So talk to me about this ball, or talk to me about this time period.
Is that the Merlin?
Yeah.
I know you've always loved Merlin. I didn't expect you were gonna ask me about that. So, what years was the Merlin?
2000. So 99, 2000, 2001.
So, about then was probably when you and I started carpooling together down to Parker, Denver, 3 days a week, 4 days a week, including games.
Yeah.
And that's really when we made the
Commute.
conscious choice and decision to be extremely serious about soccer and our future with the game. That's what I think about when I see this ball. And you've always loved this ball, but for me, the original Total 90, that's my favorite ball ever. And that was like right before this ball, or maybe right after this ball.
After,
Same time frame?
Later on.
Yeah, later. How did I know you were gonna bring out a Merlin?
Yeah, I remember so many volleys,
Yeah, that's...
And Leeds was in the Premiership, or they were in the Premiership. One of the top teams. They finished second that year, but.
What do you
Well,
remember
I just
about
remember
this ball?
so many
What's
volleys.
your best memories
it
about
was
the
just
Merlin?
the touch was so good, and many memories of, just the highlight videos or the VHS record, tapes or whatever. But
Yeah, and
know,
that
you
was
could
hard
really-
to come by. Bro,
Yeah,
like, 100 and whatever at the time, $20 ball. That was like out of reach. Like if you had one of those, dude, you had it,
Well, maybe we robbed it from you if you had it. But
I didn't have it.
It was the this is top ball, of the times.
Top shelf all the way.
And, yeah, I even have friends that got, this little tattoo with the lion and the ball there and
Nice.
stuff, So hopefully the
You
Premier
thinking about
League's-
getting one?
No,
Come
no,
on.
no tats for me, but this ball, just with the dip and the swerve, you had to have it, and it was just the next level. But these were some very good.
How many goals do you think you scored with that ball?
Me,
Assists?
I didn't score that many goals.
Assists?
So, more assists, or in my mind. How many in my brain? I scored a lot.
Countless.
A lot. But yeah, we still got it in the backyard over here.
Oh,
We're still
man.
rocking it. And this ball, yeah, it is a valuable piece. So if you're watching this, don't come steal it from our backyard.
How many of these do you have in like a storage unit
A
right
couple.
now that you haven't pumped up yet?
It's not gonna. If the government's listening, 0. But a few. Well, they released a couple a few years ago, and we are still seeking sponsorships. So Nike, if you're listening, we could use a few team bag balls of those Merlins.
And a first generation T90.
Yeah.
But not the second generation.
And so this one is technically like, this is the flight, but anyways, a
It's a
couple
nice
years
ball.
ago, they did a new release of like the Merlin ball.
This was a
but
deep
it was
ball.
like the top ball was called like Merlin, but then
You know what this reminds me of? It reminds me of the soccer commercials
yeah,
of that era. Yeah.
like the cage,
The
the
Choco
cage.
Bonito.
Yeah,
Like
yeah. I know.
dude, that was a good era of commercials.
It was. It made a
Yeah.
lot. And then these days, I'm like, where are all your commercials and
Yeah.
stuff? Or like the airport, or the cage, or on the ship.
I loved those,
or
man. I used to download
the
those
Ronaldinho.
videos. I downloaded those videos onto my computer and I would just watch them.
Yeah.
Yeah, the one in the ship, the little 2v2 games.
Yep.
Man. That was a good era
too.
of soccer
Yep.
commercials.
And like the street soccer, yeah, I agree. And yeah, one of the things about the Merlin is they do have a Merlin, or a couple of years ago, like 2 or 3 years ago, they had a like the top Nike ball was called the Merlin, but it was a re-release or whatever. But then they also did, I think this was in 2019 or 2020 or something, but they released I don't know, like 6,000 Merlins, like worldwide or whatever. Nike did. So it did get a hold of a few of those, but
Damn.
yeah. Anyways, they
6,000. That's not very many.
no
But you got a hold
for
of
how
a
many
few.
people who want them. Yeah, got a hold of a couple
Damn,
of those.
man.
But yeah, Nike, if you're listening, we're seeking sponsorship, just like we're seeking sponsorship from some of the other potential sponsors. But
Hell yeah.
yeah, so we got a couple minutes here. What about till halftime? A couple minutes till halftime.
Solid.
Maybe there's some added time before
Finish
the
strong.
Well, this may be a bigger one, but it may take up a little bit more time. But one of the things that we do share is some of the, state championships, some of the regional championships.
Yeah. Dude, I got those all under the belt. Let's go. Well, technically, in my youth career, we won 4 state championships.
Like in CSA or like Colorado Soccer Association.
Let me specify. 3 of them were club.
Yeah.
1 of them was high school.
Mhm.
So three club state championships. 1 with Arsenal, Colorado. 2 with Real.
Mhm.
And then the high school one was with Pooter High School in Paulus. The one and only ever at that high school.
So
and then-
far.
And then there was
happen
also
soon,
there was
yeah.
also a 5th when you were U11. It was before they actually you could go to state cup. You couldn't go to state cup yet at U11, but we also won the state at U11, and we got like the medals, we got the trophy.
We
but,
currently don't have like a fact checker,
Yeah,
so that part I'm not sure.
yeah.
Like we'll count it for you, but
So yeah.
unofficial.
and then
And Zach Cousins, he'll have an episode as well, but he has a bunch of unofficial stats like that are not official, but they're, I guess, so you can have it.
yeah, thank you.
YouTube
then-
may like fact check or whatever, but yeah,
Yeah.
you can have that one. So
Well,
an extra one at 10
and
when
that's
you're
a
at 10.
lot.
You
11.
couldn't even tie your
11.
shoes yet.
Yeah, Velcro. Yeah, and tape.
They did
Just
have
tape 'em
Velcro
up.
back then, but yeah. Okay,
Uh-huh.
so at 11,
But
you got
anyhow,
the state
yeah.
championship.
Officially 4, 3 club, 1 high school, and that's kind of fun to have that mix. It's really difficult to win a high school state championship. Your team gets all
So
split up,
basically
busted up, and then
out of U11 through U18 or something.
yeah,
Or
that's right.
U23.
U11 through U18. That's what we're talking. And
So
then
9 years. You had 5.
that's right.
Sheesh.
And then 1 regional
You're like a
championship.
serial champion.
1 regional. Yeah, I'm the champ. We came here to win. All we do is win, no matter what.
Yeah.
Let's go. Then we did win regionals once, which was incredible. happened to be the same year that the younger Real team also won regionals, went to nationals. What an experience. So much fun, unreal. We placed third at nationals that year, and outside of that, I got a conference championship my first year in college, Division II. That was really special, really cool. And then this doesn't showcase them all, but probably like, I'm gonna go Zach Cousins on this one, 19 or something, the men's league championships. Oh, let's talk about Vale.
He's barely old enough to have 19 of those championships. Okay.
Yeah, 2 seasons
Well,
per
I guess,
year.
yeah, there's 2 seasons per year.
seasons.
Yeah, okay. That's fair. That's fair.
Yeah, then we got some Vale championships, the Fred Ammer Invitational, one of my favorite events of the year. Probably like 4, maybe 5, been part of those. Those are a blast. They got to be counted though. Like, it's like the same level as a state champ.
Yeah.
It's like, it's up there.
Yeah.
And then there's a whole bunch of stuff that we're not going to count, we're not going to get into. But you got to toss Vale, the Fred Ammer Invitational, up there with the rest of them. And that one's a blast.
That is big time, yeah.
Yeah. You want me to expand on that?
No, we're just about at halftime here. This is the 45th minute, so
All right.
let's call it there. Let's have a halftime.
Cool.
Little halftime break. Reset, get some coaching points.
Solid.
Okay, good.
Halftime over.
Second half about to tip off here.
Here we
If
go,
you need
baby.
anything, just let us know.
All right. Okay. Second half here.
Let's go.
What should we start with? Should we start with some Lalo real quick?
I would love that. I mean,
Okay, guys.
These.
There's Lalo Tequila. They only do Blanco. I saw this on a Huckberry video. But they're organic tequila company in Mexico. And yeah, like I said, we're seeking sponsorship. Lalo, if you're listening, we're about to try
Let's
your
go.
stuff.
I've never tried it before, so you're witnessing a
Nick
first
knows
taste.
Mexico, and
Oh,
he
yeah.
only likes the Blanco.
Well, I do. I like them all, but reposado. Not really a fan of the añejos personally, but I'm excited to try this. I love tequilas, know them very well,
Yeah, he does.
and you're gonna be witnessing a first taste.
Yeah.
We got first taste live.
I'm not even sure if there's a line
Recorded
that is
live.
worthy. So, but we have a few. They were from the Safeway.
There we
Yeah,
go.
I'm not sure if they were like organically sourced or whatever, but
Wow.
yeah, Lalo, let's give it a shot here. This
Can't
seems
wait.
like the type that you don't shoot it, you just sip on it.
Yeah. I like Blancos because you're tasting the true tequila. With reposados and añejos, they've been aged in the oak barrels, so now you're tasting like the aged process
Well, I
of
gotta
the
start
tequila.
the clock.
Yeah, start the clock.
Start the clock.
But with Blancos, there's no hiding. There's no hiding the taste. It's the pure, true taste of the tequila, right?
Yeah, that sounds right to me. You didn't know that you guys were.
That's delish. That's refreshing, smooth, delish, tasty, and it makes my mouth happy.
That is good.
Mhm.
So
Yes,
we were
please.
getting into. So yeah, second half just started. Over here, Lalo, we're getting Lalo tequila into the mix, but
There we go.
we were going over some of the highlights, and so yeah, you were talking about a little bit. Okay, some of your state championships and that sort of
Yeah.
thing. But there's one highlight that I want to tell you about.
At halftime, I was talking to Iz, and we were reminiscing about the highlights of our careers, where we just left off. And I was telling him that one of my greatest highlights of my soccer career is getting to play with my wife. And I think it's a very rare and special thing. Most footballers probably won't ever get to do that. we started playing co-ed together, and I really had to twist her arm to get her to come play with me. And it eventually led up to us playing in 2 different competitive tournaments in Las Vegas, co-ed tournaments. And it's called the Friendship Cup. It goes on in November. First year we went down there with a squad, great squad, and we just got smashed. It was bad. Second year we went down again, same squad, went all the way to the finals, and it was just incredible, man. Like, to get to experience that level of competitiveness and success, like with your wife, bro. I gotta tell you, man, it was something special, something that I'll remember forever, like it was yesterday. We ended up losing in the finals, unfortunately, to a team from Southern California. But the highlight of that game was the captain of that team. He was extremely talented and skilled, and when he had the ball at his foot, nobody could take it off of him. Nobody. And I was trying all fucking game.
Connor Tobin.
Second half. Connor Tobin, we needed him, man. Where was you? Where were you?
He was probably working hard somewhere.
Bro, he was putting it in.
He was probably reading
putting
a
in the
book.
work. Yeah. And second half, kind of like maybe 75th minute or so, scores 2-1. Things are getting very chippy. Crystal just comes in out of nowhere and just sticks this guy so hard. He falls over. It was clean, nothing but ball, man, but just a hard stick. And I was so frustrated because I couldn't take the ball off of him. But when that happened, I was so excited that I ran over to the guy, and hey, maybe this is bad to say, a little bit past gamesmanship, but dude was like, "Nice stick, Crystal," right in his ear, like right in his ear. And just to have that memory means the world to me. So I would put that up there with all of the championships that I've won, all the success I've had. It is up there. It is up there on the top shelf, right alongside of my best moments in soccer. Yeah, that's what we were talking about at halftime. Had to throw it in. So back to where we left off.
Well, and each guest or guests, they also can, do a promo for their company or whatever, but maybe we should crack a beer because I do have...
Get a little sidecar going.
Well, right here I have Crystal's Realtor.
Oh, what do I have?
You have the CCA approved.
I got
Yeah,
CCA
so over here,
approved
this
Troy
is
City
Crystal's.
athletes.
This is Crystal's in realty. She does real estate, so maybe we should crack a quick beer for Crystal.
I'll drink to that. To Crystal.
Smith Street, we have quite a few backyard parties, so the koozies come in big time. But yeah, Crystal crushes it all over.
Gotta keep your beer cold when it's hot and your hand warm when it's cold.
Yeah. Crystal also plays in the women's league out there at the complex.
That's delicious. Should we do a shout out to what we're drinking now?
Yeah. What is that one?
What we got is Avery Island Rascal Belgian style white ale.
This is one of my favorite beers, honestly.
Great artwork. A little tiki mask.
The green room is
I don't know
popping
if you
off
can
right
see
now,
that.
so
Yeah. Green room's going nuts. Also, a train went by.
No, you guys are good, but okay.
In Fort Collins, Colorado, we have train tracks that run right through the middle of our city. And the trains, they come whenever they want. And they blow their horn as much as they want. So that might have been what you were also hearing. It's pretty cool. We like it. I mean, some people hate it, but it's unique. Right through the middle of the city.
So we were talking about some of those highlights, but one of the things that always frustrated me is that your high school team was so good. It's tough even for me to just say that word that you guys were good, but you guys did win a state championship, and for a long time, I was watching Fort Collins High School where I played. We always had pretty good teams, pretty good coaches, but since the 90s, I think Tony Manata or some of those guys, like 99 was the last time Fort Collins High School won the state championship. And then yeah, what was it? 2003? No,
It
not
was
19.
2004.
Was it? Okay,
Well-
so it must have been much earlier than
Oh
99.
no, because fall season ends in it was 2003.
So
It was 2003, but that was
Fort
like the
Collins
class
High School,
of 04.
it must have been like 89 or 93 or like in there, where I know that they did win, you mentioned Almanada, but his son Tony did win, they did win a state championship earlier, but Fort Collins High School for a decade or whatever didn't win, but had very good teams. But then out of all of them, the team that won next was you guys. So I just want to dig in there a little bit of, okay, what was going on there?
Yeah, it was wild. So, first of all, on paper, another one of those situations where the rivalry schools seemingly, like should have been doing the job and getting things done. On paper, at Pooter High School, we were definitely a big underdog, but I would go back to what I mentioned earlier about cohesiveness and just like the real meaning of like a solid team, a group that is together, that like believes in each other. It was such a fun team, bro. Like, it was so fun to play on. That year, one thing that specifically made us stand out was we were super heavily loaded with seniors. So I was a junior, but man, there was probably like 14 or give or take seniors on that squad. So we were just so heavy loaded
Who
with
are some of those
guys that it was their last chance, and everybody was so committed together to like really go for it. Some of those guys were guys like Alan Borden, Jared D'Arcy, Matthew Brady Hoft, Matthew Trowbridge, oh man, Nick Whitworth. We had a couple underclassmen, Dion Buberhall, who you and I played with later on, and at the time too, club level. We had
Dion since I was 9 or 10.
Oh, yeah, awesome. We had a pretty young coach, Nick Hawley.
Yep.
And he had just recently taken over the team, and so we had kind of like a young coach energy, and we had an upperclassman
Nick Hawley
leadership.
is a legend, and he's gonna get an episode as well.
Oh, absolute legend, dude. It was just really kind of like one of those dream teams, man. Honestly, it was so much fun to play. Here's something I noticed about that team that set us apart from different teams I played on. Everybody wanted to put the work in. So conditioning, for example, a lot of times you're on a team and it's time to do conditioning, and players are whining about it and moaning and griping about it, don't want to do it. That team, never, man. When it was time for conditioning, everybody really kind of pumped each other up and said, let's put in the work, let's dig, let's grind, let's make ourselves better, let's make ourselves stronger, let's make ourselves faster. Yeah, it sucks, but it's gonna make us better. It'll improve our chances of winning. Oh man, it was a special team. Like, we would one time we were playing in, I think, like Greeley West. No offense to Greeley West, but it's a game we should have been winning. We weren't winning. It was halftime. It was raining, and we went into the bus to do our halftime speech because there wasn't like a locker room to take cover in. So we go into the bus. We're soaked. It's cold. It's night. It's fall in Colorado, and everyone's like miserable, and we're down like whatever, 1-0, 2-0. I don't remember exactly, but everybody was low, and then one of the captains, I swear it was Jared D'Arcy, gets a water bottle, and it's full of ice water in one of those Gatorade squeeze jugs, and starts going around the bus and being like, hey, you cold? You uncomfortable? Here's some ice water. Man up. Let's go. Come on. You cold? Are you miserable? Come on. What? We got a game to play. Quit whining, basically. come on, like, let's do this. And ends up spraying everybody in the bus with all these ice water jugs. I don't think anybody even hydrated at that halftime because all the ice water just like got sprayed onto every player in the bus. And it was kind of like a statement, like, dude, quit being a wimp about the conditions and let's band back together, have some fun, play for each other, and win this game. And we did. Oh man, we came back out in the second half and went bonkers, dude. We like won like you know, with flair and style, and we had fun. And then everybody forgot that it was 42 degrees, icy rain on a October evening, you know, in northern Colorado. It's like miserable conditions to play in. And that's just the kind of team that was, dude. It was a very special team. It was so much fun to be a part of. So much fun. Yeah, that's just one example.
I just remember I was kind of frustrated because, well, you guys were good, obviously, but you guys were just outperforming even just, okay, we have these good players, you know, like Allen was good, Brady. You guys had a lot of guys that were some of the best in the state, but even just, okay, here around town, they were some of the best players in their age group, but you guys were really solid, winning pretty much every game, probably doing a lot of things, you know, on the field, off the field, better than the team that I was on at the time. And like I've told you before, yeah, Fort Collins High School, they were always, for many years since I was watching local teams and individuals play, they were always very good, but yeah, maybe not as cohesive or, so it was frustrating. You know, I didn't want any of the local high schools, you know, winning, but then, it also was good for me being a year younger to see that you guys could do it. I think, one of the semifinal games, I think it was a semifinal, but it was either the quarterfinal or the semifinal, but I did go down to the game. You guys were playing at
Denver South.
Oh, you played against Denver South, but it was
semis.
It was at the North Glen complex. But I think you beat them like 4-0.
That's right. And
I was watching, and it, you know, it hurts, but then it's also like, okay, so they're at the top, then how do we get to the top, you know?
That was a cool game because they were the highest scoring offensive team in the state at the time. And like, bro, Michael Jordan comment, like, we took that personally. They like scored like 53 more goals than like any other team. And we came into that game, you know, just banded up like brothers. Like the way a team
I think
is
the
best.
Media outlets were favoring them highly, you know.
Oh, big time.
But you gave them the smoke. And then there were a lot of so anyways, I was happy for you guys, but also frustrated because then that's what I thought, you know, that we could be doing. But then soon we did, you know, a couple years later. But
well, I think this might be a little bit of a tangent, but the more we talk about this, I think this is an identity of Northern Colorado soccer in our generation. And that is something very unique and very special. Man, like, our generation just really, we all had that, like, in different age groups. And there was just such a great, like, pool of ballers. And it was, what a generation to, like, be playing in and, like, to, like, grow up in. And it was just like, you guys had it, we had it, everyone else had it. It's just this big player group of people, and we all still play together today.
We did.
It's freaking awesome.
And even Jared, you know, if he's back in town or something, maybe he'll get an episode. But he just got the shout out there. But over 4th of July, I was telling Brady, because Brady was my partner for soccer tennis this year. But I was telling him how. Who was it? It was who did the U.S. soccer label? Who does the like low carb?
Oh yeah, it was Michelob Ultra.
Michelob Ultra.
That was sweet. U.S. soccer badge.
Is this was just an advertisement, or are those available? And he was like, oh, Jared DRC sent me a pic. He was picking up a 12-pack. So anyways, Jared DRC. And then Trowbridge, like you mentioned, Trowbridge, but I was out playing in San Francisco in a men's league out there when I was there, and then he was one of the opponents. So it was like
that.
yeah, torrential rain, freezing cold, like December, and I was playing for this team out there, and then he was on the other team, so he was, oh, Izzy, you know, like, oh, I thought I recognized, but
That's
yeah,
so
I just
cool.
ran into him. So
It's small world, man. Soccer community, it's so cool. I love hearing stories like that.
well, I'm gonna change direction a little bit.
All right, well, we
I want to hear your starting 11. So we got the Forza.
Okay.
Guys, this is a Forza
Oh, baby.
whiteboard.
Oh, baby.
Forza right here. Like I said, we're seeking sponsorship, so potentially, you know, Forza, if you're listening, yeah, we're gonna use the whiteboard here. So
All right.
we've got Nick's starting 11. Right now, one of the things I've asked Nick to do is, to do a little bit, you know, some of the players he played with or that he watched. Not like, you know, pro players in Italy or in Germany or something like that. Some of the local players or guys that he plays with or guys that he's played with along his journey. And then, he can, you know, put himself in a lineup or he can coach. And we got the board out so he can do his own formation. But
Fantastic.
why don't we put the, you can use the blues.
Okay.
And then we can also write the name because I just want to get it documented in case we need to get,
Okay, we're going blue.
some
Uh-huh.
copyright on some of the player names or whatever. But
Okay. So I did think a little bit about this, and I considered a couple different approaches to the starting 11.
Mhm.
And where I went with it is, for the team I'm about to show you, we are gonna have the most fun. We're gonna win the most games. We're gonna win the most post games.
okay.
And nobody could stop us. So we're starting in the net with Matt Bradyhoff, the absolute legend in the net. Insane, sticky hands.
Yeah.
Bro. One time when we were playing at Pooter High School, he got kind of bored. There wasn't much action. Nobody was shooting. Finally, this all-star player from the other team breaks loose and just rips a shot, an absolute laser. And Matt just goes and palms it. One hand catch. Doesn't even look at the ball. Just no look, palms it. An absolute ripper. And then just puts it up in the air. And it was just the most demoralizing thing in the world for the other team. It was their best player, their best shot, bro, just goes like a bear paw. And then, obviously distributes it, drops a dime, probably starts a counterattack. Maybe we probably scored. I don't know. But you ever heard of Patrick Waugh?
Mhm.
This is Matrick Waugh. Fucking brick wall.
Yeah,
nobody
he's got a few
nobody
nicknames.
scores on you. No
What
one
other
scores on
nicknames does he
Matrick
have?
Waugh.
What other nicknames does he have? Well, I know that.
He also goes by Brady.
I mean, some people call him the cat.
Because of his reflexes.
Yeah,
And because he's cool as a cat.
he is cool. He's gonna
You go
have
to-
an episode, but one.
you go to
I mean,
Underground
I remember
Nightclub?
one game that I was at watching you guys in high school. The ball went back to him, and instead of picking it up with his hands or something, he just juggled it for 20 touches and stuff,
Mhm.
and then he just punted it
Bro.
out, and so confidence was high.
How intimidating.
Yeah, confidence was high, but yeah.
So
He'll
that's,
have his own episode. but
that's the all-time number
that's-
one goalkeeper.
Yeah, we can go with Brady.
So first of all, my formation for these purposes is a 4-4-2, but I would run the diamond. I like the diamond. I don't like to spread the left and right midfielders wide. I like to keep it tight, and I like to run the flanks with outside backs. You know what I'm saying? So sitting in front of Matt obviously is me.
Yeah, obvious.
One of the goats.
And
Just
you can put yourself in your own lineup, so it's totally fine.
Yeah,
some people want to be player manager, or they don't want to step on anybody else's toes. So if you don't want to be in there, or
Yeah.
you're flexible, but you can put yourself.
Oh, I'm in there. What I bring to the team is a hype and lots of slide tackles, clean slide tackles every time. energy. I'm an energy guy.
Yeah, you are.
I'm an energy player.
Yep.
I never was like the greatest, most talented, skilled player ever, but I make up for it with energy on the field. And that's why I made the starting 11.
I would say off the field too. You know, you're
Off
like
the
a
field,
team
too.
guy, so
Bro,
it's one of the things like everybody
Let's go.
needs the team guy as well. But
you gotta have it.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. And then sitting next to me is a silent assassin named Chris Banghart. I'd like to see a lot more of him nowadays, more than I do. He is one of the most rock solid center back defenders that I've ever seen play the game. He's good at everything. He can, you know, drop 70-yard dimes.
Also co-owner of CCA.
Oh, and
but he has an episode coming up. So yeah, cheers, Banger. I agree. That's a good one.
Cheers,
I'm
Banger.
surprised you didn't go with maybe a Connor Tobin back there, but
Oh, bro, Connor Tobin coming up next on the left.
even though he doesn't have a left foot,
Oh, he always has a left foot. Yeah.
maybe for getting on the bus. I'm not sure. Like set for balancing or what?
Yeah, pretty much. But I
Not
like
for
him over
kicking
there.
the ball.
You know, because it keeps him on his toes. You gotta like try to push him a little bit, give him a challenge, keep him on the left side.
I can tell you, I feel bad for this guy.
I do too. Good night. Just go back to the
Probably
bench.
quit.
Just go back over here, bro. Go back over there.
Okay, so we went with Tobin.
I did. And
Let's
then-
do right back next.
And this is gonna mess you up a little bit because now I'm gonna put Nick Ewing on the right, who is left-footed. Yeah, but you know that's okay because I like him to be able to cut in and pull these guys. So Nick Ewing is a player that I played at CSU with. We went all the way to the national finals.
Yeah, Nick will get an episode.
He's just an absolute legend, soccer family, all the way.
Yeah.
He still plays with us on our men's league, Burn the Boats, New Belgium formerly. Rock solid.
Yep.
You won't get past. Yeah, just the best. That's who you want. And then you just got me like hyping everybody up.
Yeah.
Well, these guys do all the work, you see?
Yep.
And I'm over here slide tackle because I can't get there in time. I was out of position, so I had to slide.
Yeah.
That's why I'm so good at slide tackles. Sitting in front of us, I said it's a diamond formation. You're gonna like this. Tommy Flynn,
Okay.
former DU
Yep.
soccer player, and formerly played with us, New Belgium Brewing FC. This guy is insane. He is about my height, so 5'10", and wins 99% of every ball that's ever been in the air ever. Bro, if there's a ball in the air right now in Colombia, Flynn is like gonna win it. He's gonna get out of his bed and he's gonna win that ball. It's insane. Outside of that, just as solid as can be. Also, he wears his shin guards that are about this tall on the sides of his legs. I never really understood that, but I feel like we should talk about it. I should say it
Yeah.
because I was thinking about it.
Yeah,
But man,
Flynn also really good at beer
Tommy
pong,
Flynn.
and also, you know, probably doing sit-ups right now.
Oh, for sure he is.
So,
Guaranteed.
so Flynn, if you're listening, you can get an episode now that you got mentioned here. So you can get in there. Yeah.
Okay, so now...
And I would say, yeah, I mean, this is a rock solid position for him. You know, also can play some of the other positions in there, but
It's actually really great for me because anytime I get the ball, I say I'm not the most talented player in the world. He always comes and gets it from me, you know? And it's like, oh,
Yeah.
all right, well, if I can't play this, I just give it to Flynn. He takes care of the rest.
if you can't do a Cruyff over here,
Bro, you know I
Then
gotta
you
do
can-
some Cruyffs.
yeah, I know.
At least one
If it
or
wasn't
two a
called the
game.
Cruyff, it would be called the Nick.
Uh-huh. That's all you need if you do it well. So there's Flynn.
Okay, so we got our 4. Ewing, I guess, is getting into shape over here.
Yep. Making him
Connor
run.
killing people, like
Mm-hmm.
probably gonna get a yellow, but okay, he's
Yeah.
in the mix already.
Hopefully he doesn't get a red.
Well, he probably will, but
He probably will.
once you're up like 2-0, 3-0.
He'll make it at least 79 minutes until, you know,
Yeah,
someone disrespects him and somehow. And then,
probably the refs. So.
hopefully not then.
Okay, so we got center of the diamond.
Alright.
I like the diamond 4-4-2. I like it.
I'm gonna go to the left next.
I'm a big 4-4-2 guy as well, so
Like the diamond or like
any
flat?
4-4-2. Yeah,
Yeah.
but yeah, I'm into it. I'm into
Yeah.
it.
over here we've got a good friend of ours, Devin Roybal. Not a lot of left-footed middies out there, but Devin.
Because Bodie got the shout out in the warm-up. Bodie got the shout out.
Roybals are getting it.
Bodie got the shout out. Bodie, if you're listening, you got the shout out because in the warm-up before this was filmed, you got the shout out because
taking over managerial duties of New Belgium FC.
Yeah, the New Belgium journey.
We got the torch passed together.
Yep.
And we did a great job. We won a lot of league championships in that period of time with me and Bodie at the helm. But you put his little brother Devin out here.
Bodie's out on the East Coast, but little Devin with the left. Yeah, he's nice.
Yeah, he's kind of like does it all. He's cheeky. He's fast. He shoots well.
Yeah.
He drops dimes.
Yeah, he does.
You never really know what he's gonna do with the ball, and he works hard. And he loves the game.
Yeah, he does.
He loves the game. That's a big reason that he made the starting 11. Just in love with the game.
Yeah.
I always want him. If he's an
Devin,
option, I want him.
If you're listening, you just earned yourself an episode.
Now on the right, who do I got? Oh, I got my boy Abe on the right. Dude, I got my boy Abe on the right. Abe Rodarmal. He's another hype man. Great energy, great for the team. But one thing that is great about Abe also on the pitch is that he's a smart player. He never loses the ball. He always gets stuck in on tackles. He always does the right thing with the ball. He makes the game simple. He does the simple things. He just never turns it over, and he just makes smart decisions. You know, and off the field, he's like crazy. He's a maniac, and but on the field, he's so smart. He has a high soccer IQ, and he's good for the team. What's good for the goose is good for the gander. And that's why he's my starting right
Abe's gonna have an episode.
I can't leave him. When you go to battle, dude, you gotta bring guys like this.
A couple years ago, I was
gotta bring guys like this.
Abe also won a state championship with you guys and stuff, and
Yep.
very hardworking, such a good team guy.
He's fun.
He's gonna have an episode, but plenty of stories with him. But also, he, even a couple years ago with the Vale tournament that a lot of us go play in, he was, seeking feedback, and I was telling him, well, one of the things is, we're 40 almost, but okay, fitness, and even just in the last couple years, like I know he's worked really hard to like get into better shape and take care of himself and to keep playing. And Nick and I both played with, thousands of players that were really good when they were 18, but they can't do it anymore. They lost it a long time ago. So even Abe, he's still keeping up, at a high level, even when he's 36 or 37, 38. So yeah, dude, I can agree.
So speaking of that tournament, I gotta tell you this quick little story.
I'm a bit surprised. Okay, then, haven't seen myself in the mix yet, but like Abe's in there. I guess I'm gonna go in this up. Go ahead.
Oh, but first,
CAM?
Same tournament. This is just too funny not to tell. So this is like 2 Vale tournaments ago. I was kind of like rehabbing an injury, and Abe, he wasn't sure if he was even going to come to the tournament. He like got on the roster. He was like the last person on. Just put me on the roster. I'll come. And our coach Zach told him like, hey man, like your biggest responsibility is to like keep the team hyped, be the hype man. Like I don't know how much you're gonna play. Maybe not much at all. Maybe not at all. Just dude, you're my hype man. Like I want you there. Dude, by the end of the tournament, he was starting in the championship game, like fucking running the tournament, like getting assists. And at our halftime speeches, Zach Cuz even called out Abe, gave him like a call out without even thinking about it or knowing what he was saying. He was just like, you guys all need to play more like Abe. Like you do what he's doing. You guys, you're not doing good. You got to play like Abe. And it was just the funniest thing, dude. And it was awesome. But he earned it. He deserved it. And it was just ironic to me and Abe because we're good homies. And I can say this, he's not gonna be mad. Usually I'm the starter. I'm the all-star. Like I'm like the one that's like getting all the minutes. And I'm just sitting on the bench And Abe's just like taking over the starting position, dude, getting called out at halftime for like all the good things that he's done. I'm over here like logging 7 minutes in the entire tournament. Oh man, it was just awesome. It was it was a laugh. It's an inside
Abe's
laugh.
gonna have gonna have an episode, but some
awesome.
Stories I could tell, but I want to
awesome.
keep it for the Abe. You know, the Abe is gonna have all the.
This is where you come in.
The green room's gonna be bumping for the Abe episode.
I put you here for a couple of reasons.
Here, let's throw
This
it on
is
the
Collin
other shoulder
Audley.
in case the lighting is not good, you know.
So Collin
Like
Audley,
I'm kind of creating shade.
he's
but
in the attacking mid position.
Here, put it on the other knee real quick. But
Oh yeah.
just in case.
Oh, that's better. Yeah.
Just in case we have bad, lighting or whatever. But
So Collin
good on
Audley,
the-
he's in the
we're-
attacking mid position for a couple of reasons. Number one, terrible at defense. Like a complete defensive liability.
I agree.
Anywhere else. Like I want you on the pitch.
Yeah.
Because you create all of the offense. You see all of the lanes. You see all of the passes. 2 passes before they get there. 2 runs before they're there. And lately, you've been just dropping dimes into the upper 9s and just punishing the back of the net, making that sweet sound when a ball slices through the onion bag.
Yeah.
So I want you taking shots from outside. I want you crossing balls. I want you playing through balls. I want you slotting them. I want you getting on combination play. But what I don't want is to rely on you to play any defense at all. So that's why I had to move you up the field a little bit.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
I think that's really good, for me, in this spot. You also can go wide, if you need to get the ball or something. I think that, probably my physical side is, but as I got older, my physical side improved a lot, and also so did my defending. But
I do have to say, you got stuck in on a lot of slide tackles last summer.
Well, I think it is a better position for me because I have support behind me, and it gives confidence to the player. Okay, you have people behind you to help. So, but also one of the things that I do, maybe the best out of all the things, is organize. But I also like having 2 forwards in front of me. So, for example, like if I was down here, I still have my 2 forwards, but I'm a little disconnected. But here, I also like to be kind of the third one that goes with them. And I do like to create and score, but I also like, as a player, I like to play with 2 other forwards. So in this spot, it does allow, I think it's correct. I really like that spot, but let's see who the 2 forwards are, if I would like working with them or not. But
Okay.
yeah, I'm into it.
Forward number 1 is my little brother.
I mean, you said my
Josh.
defensive qualities, which is fair. I guess I'll have to work at that. I'll have to break down some of the skills, try to improve. But I have
asterisk.
I have
You did get
1,
stuck in on a lot of tackles
5,
this summer.
6, 7. So I have 8 people to help
this summer.
me defend.
I think that.
So if those 8 do a good job,
I think,
we're gonna win.
all those slide tackles. I think they just weren't expecting you to come. Like, oh wow, didn't see that coming.
Yeah.
But it was good. It's picked up a lot. I'd like to see that continued growth.
Now that I'm 36,
on the defensive end.
I'm giving effort
Yeah,
to
keep
defend.
going. Keep going.
Okay, let's see these 2 forwards here.
Okay, up top, number 1, this is my little brother, Josh Nelson.
Okay.
He is about 10 years younger than me, and an absolute beast. He's my little brother, but he's way bigger than me. Bro.
Looks like a Roman statue.
If you challenge him to a 50-50 ball and put your shoulder down, you're gonna bounce off like he was spring-loaded or something. Like, it's worse than running into a train. It's amazing. Yeah, he's probably the most fit person on the pitch. And he's just an absolute animal, an absolute beast.
Yeah.
And in the last couple of years, his game has kind of caught up to his athleticism. And so now he's become a dynamic goal scorer.
Yep.
Just punishes the back of the net.
Yep.
And he just runs by defenders.
Passes
He out-muscles defenders. Yeah, he's gotten really good at understanding when the right time. Yeah, where to find the passes. His development in the last couple of years has been extraordinary.
Yeah, it has.
And he's an absolute asset to have on your team as a goal scorer. I wouldn't want to defend him. There's not very many people that I wouldn't want to defend. He's on that short list.
Yeah.
So for that reason, he goes up top. And next to him is our boy Jake Rudel, who also plays with us on Burn the Boats. Jake Rudel and Josh Nelson are the same class, same age. And Jake went on to play at St. Mary's.
Yep.
They went on a championship run.
Yep.
He is very cheeky and very fast, very deceiving. Just today I was playing against him, and he does a soul roll. When I do a soul roll, I move the ball about 18 inches, maybe 1.5 feet. This guy does a soul roll. It moves like 8 feet, and it's still like on his other foot somehow. It's like, it's insane. Like, it's just like, it's so hard to guard. And he's fast and he's quick, and he just puts them in the back of the net. And those two play together all the time, and they're great at playing together. So you got to keep them together. And you'll notice about this whole starting lineup is it's mostly a bunch of my guys.
Yeah.
My New Belgium guys now Burn the Boats. I want to stick together. That's the way I pick my teams. These are my guys. We know how to play together. I could put together a starting 11 that's different than this.
Yeah, you could.
With a bunch of guys that I don't know, but we're going to be playing differently. We're going to be playing different styles. This starting 11 is going to be more effective than that, and that's why I chose it that way.
Yeah.
These are my guys. I go to battle with my guys.
Yeah. Jake, we've all known him since he was little and stuff, but yeah, of the men's soccer players from the community, there's very few, even the ones that you mentioned. He was an All-American, and had a very good junior and senior year with St. Mary's. When he was at St. Mary's, I was an assistant out at Stanford, and I was telling some of the main players there, Tanner Beeson or whoever's in the back, but he is such a good athlete. He's so fast. He kind of, with all due respect, like, he doesn't look as good, but he is really good. And so, when you're if you're a top center back, if you're a top athlete, you're thinking, okay, just a normal game here. But he really is tough to deal with. The St. Mary's, staff got a lot out of him, but out of all the players you mentioned, and out of all of the players I've mentioned tonight, he's the only one that's been a NCAA All-American. So,
wow.
Very top forward there, and for both your brother and for him.
Oh, yeah.
One thing I hope about them is that, okay, they've finished their NCAA or professional careers, but now they're playing in the men's leagues, and so I really hope that they continue to enjoy and find ways to improve and find ways to continue to enjoy the game, or share it with others. And then are there any honorable mentions?
Honorable mentions, I gotta toss in our boy Zach Cuz, dude, the guy that never ages.
Where would he go?
He has to come in up top, or he can also come in at center back for me, and if he did, he would make a little run, be offsides, or like shank one 40 yards over the crossbar.
And he's gonna have an episode.
And then he'll sit here and stretch for like 3 minutes. But
I've
then
never
as
seen
soon
him
as
stretch,
the possession gets back,
okay, so Zach
he'll
Cousins,
get on sides and make a sweet little run, do somebody up, and then slot one into the far post, bottom corner, and celebrate like it was the World Cup winner.
Yep.
Uh-huh.
Any other?
That's why he's got to be on. He's first one off the bench. Any others? Oh, man.
I was surprised personally that you didn't put Alan Borden in there. Maybe this is a good role for him.
Alan.
If I need
a good one for Alan.
Yeah,
him and
me
Tommy
or Tommy.
Flynn.
Yep, me or Tommy.
Yeah, dude, there's so many. You know?
Of course.
Like, here's one.
But with any of that, it's just so hard, but you just couldn't put him in there.
There's so many. Yeah, there's so many. Yeah, there's a lot of guys I coached that I'd love to play with again. There's just guys that are from way back in the day. I mean, there's a million. I mean, there's not a million. There's hundreds. There really is. So,
and I agree. It's tough for me. And no offense to anybody that didn't make the lineup. But if you didn't make this lineup, maybe you can come share some of your lineup in the future episodes. But let's put down the roster there for a second, and then one of the things we want to talk about was we got a few minutes left in the second half, but we want to talk about what you're doing right now, maybe the Mexico nonprofit, some of the real estate or some of the industry that you're in these days?
Sure, man. So one thing that is inside the game but a little bit outside the field is we've been, and it kind of happened like naturally and organically, we kind of started a program, a foundation or so, but it's not official. It's not registered or anything like that, but we started bringing soccer balls and soccer gear down to a village in Mexico. It's right next to where my mom and my brother live. So they
also
live,
where your wedding was, yeah.
And where the wedding was.
Yeah.
Top 5 weddings ever?
Oh, well, yeah. I mean, I don't want to.
Top 5?
Yes.
Top
I mean, you can interview me in a future
all right.
weddings episode, weddings podcast. But
Dude.
yeah, it's very nice.
So
one of my favorite international matches was the soccer tennis match that we had. Go ahead.
On the sand. Soccer tennis too. Probably at some point in time, maybe not this episode, talk about the soccer tennis.
We maybe need a series.
Yeah. Anyhow, so this is, I guess, in my give back stage of my soccer life. We, as a family, have been going down to Mexico since I was a kid. My mom lives in a city called Manzanillo. My brother now lives down there too, my older brother. And there's a lot of little villages.
Henry Nelson.
Henry. And there's a bunch of little villages kind of around the outskirts of the city of Manzanillo. In the villages live the people that they're the maids and the gardeners and the pool boys and stuff of the city, and many other things too. Great people, but it's a third world country. And
though your love for me is gone, let me down easy. Since you feel to stay here alone, I know it's all over, but the last goodbye.
A lot of people in this village right outside of my mom's neighborhood, it's called Miramar. They have dirt floors, and they're happy as can be though. Like, you can't tell them like, oh, that sucks. Like, they don't think that sucks. They're the happiest people in the world, and it's just like the way it is down there at this current point in time. So a long time ago, you gave me like 6 balls, 6 soccer balls.
Used gear.
6 soccer balls. It all started with this. And some Canadian friends of my mom's had organized a soccer game with like this village. This village has their own team. Every village has their own team. And they play against all the other villages. They have a whole league. And I brought 3 balls down there. I was like, and then we got invited to play in the game, like as part of the Gringo participants. So I was like, sweet, man, like this is great. Izzy gave me these balls. I got 6 of them. Like, I'll save 3 for my team. I'm gonna bring 3 down there, and we use one of them as a game ball, because I know these Canadians, you can't depend on them to bring a nice game ball. They'll give the others away. And so that's what we did. And after the game was over, it was really cool. Everybody brought food. It was like a big potluck, this big event. Let me tell you this too. So in this village, there's basically 2 like geographic locations of gathering. Number 1 is the church, and that it also has like a central plaza, like a little park, and that is in the village. And the other place of gathering in this village is the soccer field, and that's it. Like, dude, that's entertainment, like leisure, like that's all there is. There's either soccer or church and plaza. Man.
Or La Playa.
Well, that's not on the beach. It's an inland village, but they could walk to the beach. They could walk to La Playa. So we played the game, had a blast. After the game was over, and I speak pretty rough Spanish. Like, I was like attempting to give these soccer balls to these kids, and they were so astonished that I was like trying to give them these balls. They like didn't believe me. They were like trying to ask me like, I'm not stealing? I'm like, no man, like this is for you, like regalo, right? Is that gift?
Mm-hmm.
Brigado, like, see? Like, really? Like, it's okay if I play with it? Like, see, yeah, it's yours now. Like, trying to tell them, and they're just, like, beyond themselves, bro. So that's kind of where the idea started, and since then, we have brought down a bunch more stuff every year, and we've kind of partnered up with these two guys, Jesus and Cesar, and they're brothers, and they're like the managers of this local village team, and they're great people, dude, great people. And so every year try to come down and bring them a bunch of stuff around Christmas time. They disperse it out to like the village, to all the kids that play, and it's killer. So last year their village won like the league. They won the championship.
They put together a team and they go play.
Yep. Oh man, yeah, they have this whole organized thing. Every village has their own field. And this last year, the village of Miramar, they won their like interleague championship. And Jesus and Cesar, they told me, like, hey man, like the kids were so pumped after the win, like all these things that they could be talking about, which they were, but amongst them was like a thank you to Cesar and Jesus for like getting them the good balls to train with. They like attributed that to part of their victory of winning this whole championship. It's because we got to train with the good balls. Like, thank you. And so he passed that on to me. He showed me pictures, and it's just like, oh man. So that's been extremely
so when Nike came out with that Merlin, the 6,000 of them, want to know where they ended up?
Where? Oh yeah, I know, they're down there, man. They're down there. No, they're not down there. No.
Gently used.
No.
But yeah, I'm currently on the board of directors for this non-profit foundation.
Yeah, and actually what I need to do is probably make it legitimate. Because right now it's just us bringing extra suitcases down there once a year. I should make it a legitimate foundation.
And maybe this could help us.
If anybody that's listening knows how to do that, or has information or resources on who to reach out to make it into a legitimate foundation, I think that'd be the next move.
Gently used gear and that we want to send down.
Please, if you have gently used gear, we bring down cleats. Shin guards are a big one. Cleats are a big one too. Shorts, jerseys, soccer balls, anything like that. These kids, you know, that stuff is like way out of reach for them. And so when, you know, someone shows up with a whole bunch of gear like that, it just makes their year, and they love the game. And this is the game that we love. Like, you got to pass it on, pay it forward, spread the love.
Amazing.
Yeah.
So we're going to end it there. That's the end of the second half. We're at 40. We're in the 50th minute. So a little bit of time added on maybe for
stoppage.
Yeah, a couple subs or we got in a couple drinks extra. But yeah, we're going to end it there. So Nick,
thank you for having me, man. Thank you.
Episode 1.
Much love, bro.
Episode
Much
1
love.
in the books.
Let's go.